Welcome to the Speechie Show. Being a speech-language pathologist often means having too much work and not enough planning time. To beat the overwhelm, we're bringing you the tricks and tools that will make your job a little bit easier. Hello everybody and welcome to the Speechie Show. I am your host, Carrie Clark from speechandlanguagekids.com, and I am here today with Leia Knight from languagefortheplayground.com. How are you, Leia?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Good. So glad to have you on. Today we are talking about language samples. So if you are having trouble getting some excellent language samples, Leia is here to share with us 5 tips for collecting those language samples and getting some really good ideas of what kind of language skills these children have. So while we are waiting for everybody to hop on the Facebook Live, if you are on here with us now, go ahead and type in where you're watching from. We'd love to know where everybody is today. All right, so if you are new to the show, my name is Carrie Clark. I run speechandlanguagekids.com and the Speechie Show. We do this once a week every Monday afternoon. We have had a few weeks off as we had some illness and some cancellations. So we are here today. We're back on track, and we are talking to Leia. Why don't you go ahead and give us an introduction about yourself, Leia?
Okay, so my name's Leia Knight. I am a deaf educator specialized in listening and spoken language. So language is my favorite, and I work in a preschool for children with special needs.
Fantastic. And you have a website over at, I forgot it already, languagefortheplayground.com, right?
Yes.
And tell us what you have going on over there.
So first I labeled it or called it Language for the Playground because I really like doing the approach of like social skills and language and how it's going to apply in real life. So on the playground, what are you going to do? So it's all about language and social skills.
Fantastic. So if you're looking for some help with your social skills and your language students, head on over there to languagefortheplayground.com. All right, we're going to jump in now with our 5 tips for language samples. So the first one we're going to talk today about is using picture books. Leia, talk to us about how you use picture books in your language samples.
So first, I love to give kids a reason to talk, and I feel like picture books are awesome for that because especially if they can't read yet, then they have a reason to be talking about it. And so I like to use like wordless picture books because there's a lot going on in the pictures to talk about. And I also like to use an app. It's called Story, and it's like a wordless picture book as an app, and it records their voice. So I like to use those because it gives them a reason to talk, and you can just like let them fly and see where they go with it.
Perfect. So that, if you missed that, that's the Story app. That's IMAGISTORY app, and we will have that link in the show notes. I love using books for language samples too, and I actually had a friend of mine do her master's thesis on what kinds of books elicited the most language. So when did the kids start talking the most? And I thought it was really fascinating. What she found was that when she used nonfiction books, with pictures, of course, with the smaller children, that got the most language. And I think what it was is those real pictures, it's pictures about dinosaurs or airplanes, and there's a lot to talk about in those nonfiction books as opposed to some of the character books, like the Dora books or the Elmo books, where everything's kind of already put together and laid out and there's not really much more to talk about or explore. So I just thought that was kind of a fun study, that if you use some nonfiction books, you're expanding their literary repertoire, but you're also getting better language samples. So, all right. So the next tip we're going to talk about then is using an expectant look. So Leia, tell us what this looks like in your language samples.
So the expectant look is the look that says, "What? Tell me more." So, sorry, this could be like the silliest thing ever. So preschool person that I am. So I give an expectant look, like it's your wow, like, oh, what? And so, like, do this super excited, or just depending, like another expectant look is like that doesn't make sense, like, and kids just like, feel compelled to respond when you look really goofy like that. So that I like to use that one, and it just happens on the fly, however your look comes out in the moment.
Yeah, I also like to pair this one with a very expectant pause, because the longer you just wait in silence, the more like the child feels like, okay, well now I gotta say something because she looks crazy and she's just standing there. So absolutely, pair that expectant look with an expectant pause. What? And then just kind of wait. Sometimes you have to wait a little longer than you even feel comfortable doing, but it definitely helps. All right, so we've talked about using picture books, and we've talked about the expectant look. So the next thing we're going to talk about is using some open-ended questions. How do you use these in your language samples?
So I love to use the expectant looks like that start with like I want expectant looks.
Open-ended questions.
I would just start with like words like, oh, I wonder, and how did this, how and why, because it naturally asks the question in a way that the child's going to give you a full sentence response versus asking like, do you like it? Yeah. Oh, I just killed the sample. Like, yeah. Versus like, I wonder what they're going to do next. And then the child's more likely to say like, oh, I think, versus just go to the store. It'll be like, oh, I think they're going to go to the store. So just using like the phrases I wonder and the how, why questions, just to get longer phrases back.
Absolutely. We did a Speechie Show not too long ago, and I can't remember who the guest was, but we were talking about using storybook reading, and she was talking about exploring the book with the child. So as you open the page, you say, oh, wow, I see this thing. I wonder, and you use these open-ended questions, and you act like you're really excited about discovering what's happening in the book, because you're going to get some of that excitement in the children too. And I think you're right. I think that gives a better representation of what kinds of language skills they have, as opposed to just answering questions that they can answer with a single word. So love it. All right. Now, if you are on here with us on Facebook Live, please stay tuned. We are going to do some giveaways here in just a moment. We're doing 2 giveaways today. So let's talk about our last 2 tips, and then we'll move into resources and giveaways. Okay, so we talked about picture books, expectant looks, and open-ended questions. The 4th tip we have today are propelling words. What are some propelling words, and how do we use them?
So I like to pair these words with the expectant look, but it's the words like seriously and like really and oh wow, just things like that. Actually, okay, so my favorite like preschool story was I was using this while eliciting a language sample, and so I told my little friend, I was like, seriously? And he was like, I'm serious. And it was like the most like, yes. Yes. And so I like now when I try not to say seriously too much, because then they'll just confirm that they're serious, but using like the wow, because it invites them like, tell me more, this is so interesting, and at the same time you're not like feeding them exactly what to say, it's just whatever they're going to say, and so it's a lot more naturalistic in their responses.
I love that. I do that with my son. I didn't even really think about what I was doing, but I'll say like, are you sure? Or tell me more. And then he just kind of goes off about something, So I do that too, but I just never even thought about that as a language sample technique. I love it. All right, so the last tip we have for you today before we're doing our resources and giveaways is sabotage. Tell me about sabotage. How do you like to sabotage your language samples?
Any way possible. My favorite way is kind of on the fly. I like not planning it because then it feels so much more natural for me. Like one time I was running a snack activity and we were frosting cupcakes and cookies and talking all about that. And then I thought, what if I got the frosting on my nose? And so as I ate my cupcake, I just kind of like in my face, like, oh, now there's pink frosting, like all on my nose. And I just ignored it. And my graduate supervisor's in the back. Like, I was like,
we got this.
And then like 10 seconds later, one of the little friends looks up and is like, hey, you got something on your nose. And I was like, is it up here? And then he got to, use all of his spatial concepts to explain where it was and tell me what it looked like. And because it was just so like, Miss Leia, you're so silly. It just got them talking a ton. So frosting is really good for sabotage, but yeah, like, so other things you can do, like dump everything on the floor on accident, just everything like that, or like holding a book upside down when you're going to read it, just something that they are going to correct you with. So
yeah. I also like to do this where you just don't give them something that they need. So like you're sitting down with snack and you've got their pudding and you give them their pudding in the little cup and you're like, okay, enjoy. And then you just sit there like, why aren't you eating? And they're like, I don't have a spoon. Oh, okay. So yeah, I like to give them everything they need except for one thing and just kind of see how that evolves too. Perfect. All right. So those are our 5 tips today for collecting great language samples. We're going to talk about some fun resources and we're going to do a couple giveaways. So hang tight with us if you're on Facebook Live. So what are your favorite resources for collecting language samples, Leia?
Okay, so my 2 favorites. One, the Imagistory app, because also it'll record their speech. And so I think if you miss anything in the language sample, you've still got it. And then the kids can listen back and hear themselves telling the story, which gets them talking even more.
Nice.
My second favorite resource are little critter books, because there's so many things happening in the stories. And it's not just the text on the page. There's so many little like social cue things to comment on, like, oh, it says he's happy, but he looks sad. So there's just a lot to talk about and to pick up on as you look at those books.
Yes, I love little critter books. How long have those been around for? Because I had one earlier today that I was looking at, and I was like, I swear this is like made in the 60s. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like they've been around forever.
You know, well, my whole life.
Yeah, right? I read them as a child. All right, Jessica O'Lear has a question. She says, what should you do when they use non-specific words like here or there or that or thing? What do you do for that to try to elicit better language out of them?
I just give them the wrong thing. Like,
Nice.
I know the child's favorite thing is like the red Play-Doh. They're like, oh, I want that one. So they're being specific with the one. I give them like, I don't know, like a spoon, just something totally off. And then they have to correct me and they're like, oh, I want the Play-Doh. And then, okay, I give them the wrong Play-Doh because I want them to get that specific. I'm like, no, the red Play-Doh. So I just play dumb and
Yes.
don't understand.
Yes. That was what I was going to suggest too, is just like, I don't have any idea what you're talking about and I just must be so confused. I just gave you this spoon. Why didn't you want a spoon? I love it. All right, she says thank you. Good. All right, perfect. We're going to do a couple giveaways and then we're going to wrap up for today. For our giveaways today, we are doing 2 giveaways to the Speech Therapy Solution, which is my membership site. Usually we have our guests do a giveaway, but Miss Leia is just getting started with her blog and website. So all I can tell you is just go visit it and check it out. She's got some cool stuff over there. So you can go to Language for the Playground. Yeah, I've screwed it up like 4 times now. languagefortheplayground.com. So you can head over there. Or if you'd like to know more information about the Speech Therapy Solution, you can head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join. We are going to give away 2 free months to 2 different people today. This is the membership where you get continuing ed, you get resources that you can print out, therapy activities that you can print out and use in therapy. There's training materials, there's all kinds of help, and we'll answer your questions. So that is speechandlanguagekids.com/join, and we're going to give away 2 free months right now. So here's how it works. I'm going to ask a question / give a prompt, and I want you to type it into Facebook Live. The first 2 people that answer are going to win. So here's the question. What is your favorite way to sabotage a child during your language sample? So go ahead and type that in if you are on Facebook Live with us right now. If you're watching the recording later, you don't get to participate, but you can always head over to the Speech and Language Kids Facebook page on Monday afternoons and participate in the next giveaway. We do this every week, or most weeks anyway. So what is your favorite way to sabotage a language sample? You can type those in, and the first 2 people are going to win 2 free months in the Speech Therapy Solution. All right, Jessica says, not keeping the glue closed and making them request to open. Yes, I love it. Anything where they have trouble accessing the materials is awesome. All right, Jessica, you're going to win 2 free months. Not keeping it open. Yeah, that's what you meant. Not keeping the glue open. So they have to ask to open it. Jessica, you're going to get 2 free months in the Speech Therapy Solution, and you can email me at carrie@speechandlanguagekids.com. That's Carrie. And my assistant Kenna will get you hooked up with your 2 free months. Congratulations. All right, we still have one more winner to go, so keep commenting in, or if you, oh, there we go. Tara Marie says, present them a secure box filled with a preferred item. Absolutely. Make them again. Ask to open it. All right, Tara, you can email me as well at carrie@speechandlanguagekids.com, and you too will get the 2 free months. All right, that's all we have for today. Join us next week on the Speechie Show on Monday afternoon. We'll have another fun show for you. And Leia, thank you so much for joining us today. Where can people find more about you and your awesome new blog?
So my blog is languagefortheplayground.com, and I'm Leia, and you guys can head on over, comment, and share your insights. Love to hear from you.
Perfect. Wonderful. Well, welcome to the SLP blogging community, and we're excited to have you.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com and check out all the resources we have over there as well. Bye for now. Thanks for joining us today on The Speechie Show. We hope today's tips have helped you feel a little less stressed and a little more confident about your work. If you're looking for more stress busters and confidence boosters, we'd love to have you join us in the Speech Therapy Solution, where you'll get access to a huge library of premium training videos and another library of print and go therapy materials. You can also get help with your tough cases by joining Carrie on the weekly Q&A calls or by posting in the exclusive Facebook group. Plus, group members can join us for a monthly webinar that can be used for continuing education credit. Head on over to speechandlanguagekids.com/join to check out all the amazing benefits of the Speech Therapy Solution membership. Bye for now.